pants for years.
So you're not talking
and
about us, I
don't.
guess.
Right.
And I don't like the look of, if I'm wearing this, I don't want to see socks, but I don't like feeling I don't like
gonna
my,
Is that okay? Okay.
The man thing with the socks.
well, and when you wear the young socks, then your feet get all yucky. I mean, so the company is called Visisocks. Visisocks, and they're better than anybody else in the market. Better, dramatically better. I've owned multiple things, and they work. A lot of them do not. After 2 washes, you throw them away. So these have not. These have lasted. And she just like, she thought it was so funny that, I asked her, should I take the socks off? I made her day. I don't know.
I've got a funny guy here.
Well, for derm, they want to check everywhere. They want to check everywhere. And as somebody who doesn't have any hair left, very little. Well, no, he like well, that was 2 years ago. I had a precancerous thing on my head, and today I had one. So he had a squirt, freezer. Well, when you don't have any hair left, that prevent the sun from, and I always wear a hat, but
what they actually use is
not every single day, but most of the time. I mean, if I'm going to the beach, I'm like,
Oh, this was very
there are
relevant.
times that I'm outside and I'm like,
This was very relevant. He thinks it was for the record, yes, but I don't know.
I was told last time I did this that I was not allowed in.
You okay temperature?
got it.
Look out.
Okay.
So this is the guy. So it's spring. And I keep it in my upstairs room. So that's like, here, healthy.
Are you guys looking for the perfect spot? Are you playing Ring Around the Rosie? Sorry. Have you met me?
I just realized that we don't have room for Laurel.
So I practiced
No.
on my way here
We
in
just
the
like,
car. Well, I practiced on my way here by listening to playing the YouTubes. Kept on pressing, and I listened to it. I said, I know that one. Click. I know that one. Click. Sort of kind of. Oh yeah, no, that's always been the case. Well, I will, but somebody, no. Why is Laurel in the house? Where's our other friend? Yeah.
Now you can ask me why I'm wearing a mask. Because I just remembered I was going to wear a mask. Because I'm seeing a friend tomorrow who's very new to the company.
And you should wear a mask.
And that is
Just makes it harder to sing.
What's that? Thanks.
Well, we used to have a whole box.
Because I'm with Betsy tomorrow. With Betsy tomorrow. That's why I'm wearing a mask. Yeah. And it also
it's so
matters.
close to matching, yeah.
Well, the fact that your shirt matches your wife.
Don't hold back. Okay. Hey.
try, it doesn't work.
The best thing,
Good to be seen.
I'm not sure what you're playing, but I was playing the track.
you'll know.
I've traveled more in the last 3 months than I was away for a week.
For your entertainment, your free entertainment.
Yes.
3 weeks out of the vacation.
I was telling Hannah when I played the horn at our similar
travel
at TVZ a few weeks ago. I did a couple of different things with the horn, and one of the things I did is just sort of tool around, like Dwayne does.
Okay.
Sometimes I like,
You're kind of like playing harmony is what we do.
yeah. And there you kept 250 people who were all singing. It's like a rock concert.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So, and then we've got two violin, a viola, flute, horn, multiple guitars. So there's like a wall of sound.
Yep.
So it's kind of fun because I get to just like,
Put little accents here and there.
exactly, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and it worked. I was able to, I was careful not to play too much because it's almost a 2-hour service.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And you, yeah.
But it worked. It was really fun, yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw a little accent. You don't want too much because you don't want them to get tired of you. You want them to want more, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's good.
And I thought about doing horn here, but it's a David. I need that wall of sound. It's like 4 beds.
Yeah.
And I don't have the control with the horn to keep it minimal and quiet. Suffocated.
Yeah. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Shabbat Nashira. Welcome to Temple Chaye Shalom. Shabbat Nashira means let's sing, and that's what we just did. The words of prayer that we'll be singing tonight are on this one sheet of paper that looks like this, either large or small. I'm feeding back.
You're getting some feedback.
Let me see if I can turn down from here without, let me see if I can do this. Okay. Maybe a little more. So, we've got our one sheet of paper, large or small. We've got another sheet of paper that has prayer for healing and mourner's Kaddish that you need. And this service is Siddur optional. I'm not sure if that's mine that's doing this. Let's do more. Our service is Siddur optional. The only thing you might need the Siddur for, or if you want words for the Amidah when we get to the Amidah, I prefer to go Siddur free for this service and just use the prayers in my own heart and mind for this service, although I love the words in other situations. Do what is right for you. There's a quotation on this sheet from the Hasidic master, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, on the back there. You don't need it. It's very short. It just says that all melodies come from the source of sanctity. And I find that quotation quite surprising. You would think that a Hasidic master would say prayer melodies are a source of sanctity. Melodies that are sung at the rabbi's table are a source of sanctity. Things that we sing for Lecha Dodi are a source of sanctity. But pop songs, rap music, metal, or, whatever melody you could imagine are covered by this phrase, all melodies. So he's saying that there's something about all melody that's holy, not just the melodies that we grew up with in services. New melodies are as holy as the old melodies, and a source of potential connection with God. So I invite you to experience that with me tonight, with us tonight, with all the melodies that we'll be singing, familiar or unfamiliar. We start with a song about singing, Lechu Naranana. Come, let us sing joyfully to God, as the words say. יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 אז ירדנו כל עציה, אז ירדנו כל עציה. We just sang about Ya'alo Sadai, fields exulting, and things in fields exulting. And Yerananu Atseya are trees in the forest singing. It sounds like someone might have had a little bit too much Kiddush wine. But that's not what it's about. It's talking about a spiritual attitude. When we can open our eyes and see things that we don't normally see. We could see what seem like ordinary acts of nature being expressions of praise for God, just as we're doing in this service. In the song we're about to sing, Mikolot Mayim, we have a different relationship with nature. We picture perhaps the mightiest force of nature, the ocean and its currents and waves. But as amazing as this natural force is, above it all is God. Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya 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 Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishbereya Adirim Mishpareyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adir Bamarom 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 Adir Bamarom Adonai. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Shamor V'Zachor B'Dibur Echad Ishmiyanu El Amiuchad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shem U'Tiferet Ve'Litila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Likrat Shabbat Lechu B'nelcha Ki Mekor HaBeracha Miroshi Kedem Tezucha Sof Ma'aseh B'Machshava Tchila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Hitoreri Ki Ba'oreh Kumi Ori Uri Shir Daveri Ron Adonai Malayit Nigla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela kala, b'nei Shabbat, nikabela, boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha, ובצהולה, תוך אמוני הסגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי
So far, our songs have been part of what is called Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat. These songs culminate here in Lecha Dodi as we turn to greet the Shabbat bride. In the last verse, we sing, Boi Kala, come in, O bride. And we face the door to greet her as she comes in. As we have symbolically welcomed Shabbat, in a few moments we will officially welcome Shabbat. And Shabbat will technically begin when we light the Shabbat candles. This week's Torah portion also begins with kindling lights. God tells Moses to describe to Aaron the proper way to light the lampstand with 7 branches that stood in the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the portable sanctuary that the Israelites carried with them in the wilderness. Aaron and his sons, the priests, were responsible for keeping those lamps burning every day. In order to understand what made these lamps so important that God would command them to be kept lit in this way, we have to remember that the Israelites were only recently freed from slavery in Egypt after more than 400 years of servitude. During their enslavement, they must have felt abandoned by God, who apparently did not help them, did not liberate them until much later. Suddenly, God showed up with this man, Moses, hit Egypt with some plagues, and the Israelites were free, fleeing into the wilderness. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. The wilderness was not a safe and secure place either. They would need God's help to survive this part of the journey. And so God provided them with manna, miraculous food that appeared for them every morning. And yet, even after so many years of not feeling God's presence in their lives, especially after so many years of not feeling God's presence in their lives, the Israelites remained skeptical despite the miracles. Would God really be there for them, to guide them, to sustain them, to protect them at this difficult time? So these lamps served as a constant reminder of God's presence, much like the eternal light in synagogues today. When the Israelites would see these lamps lit, they would remember that God was with them, and their faith would be restored. But even more than that, the lamps were fueled by pure olive oil. Producing sufficient oil to keep the lamps lit regularly required tremendous effort and dedication. All of us farmers know it's not easy to make olive oil. Planting, tending, harvesting the trees, beating the olives, purifying and storing the oil, The Israelites had to devote themselves to this task day after day after day, working hard to keep those lamps lit. We may not know about growing olives, but we know about this struggle. Because as we wander through the wilderness of our lives, we too have trouble keeping those lamps lit. We too struggle sometimes to remain aware of God's presence accompanying us on this journey. It can be hard work, from war to gun violence to climate change, from illness to isolation, from doubts about the direction of our society, which sometimes seems that too many of our leaders want to take us back toward Egypt instead of closer to the promised land. With all of these challenges, it can take a lot of effort to find God out here. But we must. We have to focus on seeing that God is with us, uplifting us when we celebrate our joys, sustaining us when we struggle with our sorrows, encouraging us when we seek to overcome our obstacles. We need to keep in front of our eyes that vision of the promised land toward which we are walking. We must keep our lamps lit so that we can continue to see. It's hard to do, but every 7 days gets a little bit easier, because that is what happens when we light our Shabbat candles. For a moment, for a day, we leave the wilderness behind and we enter into the promised land of peace and contentment, of rest and fulfillment, of family and community. For this precious day, it is easier for us to sense the presence of God's presence. And as we restore and refresh our souls during Shabbat, perhaps we will remember, as Aaron and his sons learned, how to keep our personal lamps burning every day. And so we get ready to light our lamps. I mentioned a moment ago that Lecha Dodi enables us to welcome Shabbat. It is extra special to be able to welcome another special guest, another returnee to our sanctuary, Ariana Delaney. It's wonderful to have you home and to invite you to light the candles tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehalikneh, shel
At the end of this week's portion, Moses' sister Miriam is suddenly afflicted with a disease. Moses responds with a spontaneous, heartfelt prayer. In 5 short, urgent words, he says, El na refana la, please God, heal her, please. We use these same words to pray for the well-being of our loved ones and friends who are facing illness, whether their struggles are physical or spiritual or emotional. We direct our love and attention toward them, hoping for them to return to health and wholeness. And we include ourselves as well, as we say not only Refana la, please heal her, as Moses prayed, but also Refana lanu, please heal us. The words to this version of the prayer are on the second sheet.
El na refana la, refana lanu.
bring peace to all our Elna, Rafana, Rafana, Lanu. Elna, Rafana, Rafana, Lanu.
Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our lives.
Rejuvenate our Elna. Rafana, Rafana, Lanu. Elna, Rafana, Rafana, Lanu. This Shabbat, as we pray for healing, our TCS family thinks particularly of Phyllis Burke, Arthur Campbell, Phyllis Dillon, Jane Dunlap, Harriet Flashenberg, Valerie Frank, Jennifer Galvin, Jonathan Gardner, David Glazer, Janice Goldstein, Robert Gordon, Michael Gottfried, Marcia Hirsch, Mike Kamens, Cheryl Leahy, Nancy Lewis, Nancy Mayer, Jonathan Panasuk, Mark Panasuk, Saul Payne, Walter Petrish, Kimberly Phillips, Gail Rosenberg, Joseph Roth, Jan Ruderman, Michael Schreiber, Cindy Sherman, Elaine Swartz, Yonina bat David HaKohen V'Sara, Esther bat Chaim Vagoldi, Fegi bat Shlomo Nisan Halevi. If there's someone who is in your heart tonight whose name you'd like to mention aloud, we invite you to do so now.
Gittel bat David.
We hold all of our friends and loved ones in our hearts.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings
Throughout our days and nights.
throughout our days and nights.
We celebrate the journey.
We celebrate the journey,
This precious gift of life.
this precious gift of Elna, Rifana, Rifana, Lanu. Elna, Rifana, Rifana, Lanu. Elna, Rifana, Rifana, Lanu.
please rise for Bart?
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Yai, 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 לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד, לעולם, לעולם. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
kamocha.
Nedar b'kodesh.
Nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha, vaylim Adonai. Mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha, vaylim Adonai. Mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh. Norah, tehilot, osei, feleh. Norah, tehilot, osei, feleh. Mi chamocha, vaylim Adonai. Mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha, vaylim Adonai. Mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh. Norah, tehilot, osei, feleh. Norah, tehilot, osei, feleh. Yai-da-da-da-da-da. 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 Yai-da-da-da-da-da.
That was a celebration. And that's what my interpretation of Michamocha is. And I hope that came through. It's a celebration and praise for God's saving power. The original context was God's miracle of splitting the Red Sea to save us. But we don't have to limit it to that. It could be any tiny little saving that we experience in our lives. Now, after all this communal, celebratory prayer, it's time for us to have some one-on-one time with God, with the Amidah, our personal and private meditation and devotion that has a paradox, because while it's personal and private, it's more powerful when we do it together in a minyan like we are tonight. Feel free to do this completely from your own heart and mind, or if you prefer the words in the Siddur, get yourself a Siddur. We rise. If you want the Siddur, it's on page 35. If you want your heart, it's inside you.
Oh boy.
please rise as this is Aleinu.
V'hashevota
El levavecha.
el levavecha
Ki Adonai
ki Adonai
hu Elohim.
hu ha'Elohim
V'hashevota
v'hashevota
el levavecha.
el levavecha
Ki Adonai
ki Adonai
hu Elohim.
hu ha'Elohim
V'hashevota
v'hashevota
el levavecha.
el levavecha
Ki Adonai
ki Adonai
hu Elohim.
hu ha'Elohim Ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo u'shemo As we prepare for Kaddish, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight, our congregational family remembers with special affection our loved ones whose yahrzeit will occur this coming week. Harold Lewis Rosenblum, grandfather of Laurel Silverman. Bernard Burke, father of Norman Burke. Max Jacobs, father of Howard Jacobs. Anne Karasek, mother of Ruth Karasek. Hyman Slavitt, uncle of Amy Glazer. Steve Gradwell, brother of Jane Nash. If you are remembering someone this evening, I invite you to say that person's name aloud now. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of all our dear ones be a blessing. If you're saying Kaddish in someone's memory tonight, we ask you to rise now. In loving support of the mourners, we rise as a congregation. In gratitude to God for the gift of the lives of their loved ones, those who are in mourning and those remembering someone, say Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei chon v'yomei chon, v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach l'olam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekusha brichu, ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all of the bereaved. And we say, amen. You may be seated. Kim, you have announcements for us tonight. It's a pleasure to call on Kim Rosen on behalf of our board of directors. So, find the microphone. So, only this far.
Can you hear me? Hi. As you can see, I don't do this often. Shabbat Shalom. Sorry, happy Shabbat to you. What a beautiful service, honestly. Rabbi Ken, Cantor David, the singers, the musicians, you really created great energy tonight. Thank you. Announcements. Torah study tomorrow with Rabbi Carr at 9 a.m. in person with bagels and coffee or remote. Havdalah service tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And a reminder, next Thursday at 7 p.m. Informational meeting with Rabbi Ken about the congregational trip to Israel next summer. Shabbat Nashira service with potluck dinner tonight. right after. Wednesday, June 14th, noon at Temple. Join us for a historical presentation on Jordan Marsh by TCS member Steve Braidman, former Vice President and General Manager of Jordan Marsh, Boston. Bring your own lunch, meatless and no shellfish, please, and enjoy Jordan Marsh's famous blueberry muffins for dessert. Yum. RSVP to Ruth Alpert. Right here. Save the date, Friday, June 16th. 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. is Shabbat in the park at Borderland State Park. Tot Shabbat will be right before from 5 to 5:30. Free pizza and ice cream. Potluck dinner sign up to come. It'll be right next to the visitor center at Borderland State Park. Bring your own chairs, blankets to sit on. Complete sign up info will be in Monday's emails. Bring your family and friends. Everyone's welcome. And free parking if you RSVP to the temple. Remember to bring your unwanted clothing to TCS until June 17th, and we're also taking books. Contact Sandy Newfield if you have any questions. And remember, information and links to all these activities are included in your weekly emails on Mondays, as well as special notices. When you drop off your name tag out in the foyer, please take a copy of the TCS committee report if you do not already have one. They are in a holder by the name tag containers. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This congregation has had a 25-year commitment to Family Table. 25 years, because I remember it was when I was president a million years ago. tuna and cans of vegetarian soup. And I'm asking if you would please, we have 30 cans of each every month, not every year, every month. That has been what has been assigned to us. And there are poor Jewish families out there that look forward to this donation because otherwise they can't feed themselves or their families. So I ask you, please, when you go food shopping, throw in a couple of extra cans of tuna or a couple of extra cans of soup and just make it a habit and bring it by the temple. I can't even imagine what it would be like to depend on strangers' generosity to feed my family. Thank you.
I'd like to add just a few thank yous. First of all, to the Mavarchim, the blessers, those instrumentalists and singers who practiced with me to bring this service to you, to bring this service to life, and to create the energy that hopefully is drawing us all in. We'd also like to thank, if we look at the song sheet, you'll notice that there is a beautiful logo up top. We haven't thanked them lately, but we have not forgotten that this is the product of Emerson Advertising. But not only Emerson Advertising, especially Abe Kempner for creating this logo. We'd like to thank Karen Levine and the crew that is organizing the potluck dinner that we're about to enjoy. And I'd like to thank all of you for creating the energy for which this service would not be possible without. And I'd like to thank Rabbi Ken for being such a great partner and support in creating and developing the service and coming to practices. Rabbis don't always do that. Rabbi Ken does. From what I've heard from colleagues of mine. You probably noticed that we have not done Shalom Aleichem, and it is still to come on the sheet here. You may be wondering why we aren't doing it in its normal place, that we normally do it at the beginning of Friday night services. But Shalom Aleichem is a dual-purpose prayer that it also has its place at the beginning of the Shabbat table service for Shabbat dinner, which many of us are about to enjoy in the other room. So we're putting it there before Kiddush and Motzi. So please join me for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharem, Malachei Yod, Min Alev, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch please join me for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava u'ratzon hidri lanu, zikaron le'maaseh bereishit, yihu yom tehillah l'nikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, Ivanu b'charta v'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava u'ratzon ilchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
Amotzi is a prayer of gratitude, of thanks to God for the bread, for the food that we are about to eat. But in addition to thanking God for it, we also want to thank the people who made it and brought it. So, Karen, thank you for the call. Thank you, everybody who brought food that we are about to enjoy. And one other slight correction to the announcements. Kim very generously thanked me for this service. I have nothing to do except to bask in everyone else's music and energy. This is all David and his leadership and creativity for this group. So thank you. Thank you, Kim, for your generosity, but thank you, David, for your inspiration and your leadership.
Those words of beautiful words of Torah were not nothing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Let's eat.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm not in full voice, as you can tell. I went away on vacation 3 weeks ago. Before I went,
Good.
I had no health. Zero. Gone. Totally gone. I was gargling with Listerine. I was drinking tea. I was cough syrup, cough drops. No whiskey. I chewed on that. And inhaler. And it helped. And then we went away to Hilton Head, South Carolina. 2 days, 3 days into it, I was fine. Gone. Fine. Came back, it was okay until like 2 days ago, where I started getting, what my mother would say, hazelneck.
Like allergies?
I've never had allergies in my life.
Yeah, but I haven't either. I've had them this year, so.
Never had allergies in my life. But before, it was, I was drippy, I was stuffy, I was everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, absolutely, it was
Isn't
allergies.
that annoying that you
And
can develop these
it's like,
in life?
yeah,
It's so
66
unfair.
years old, I'm not supposed to be getting allergies.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Now, I know at 45, you're
Right, yeah.
46.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like 72.
That was great. That was great. Adam, it was wonderful singing with
It was
you.
really lovely.
You add a tremendous amount. By
my
the way,
best.
I have to admit, Noah had the most amazing, unique outfit